So I'm just sitting here messing around with updating all the drones and so I thought I would take this chance to answer a few of the most common questions that I've seen in relation to the DJI Mini 4. The first question: have you noticed any change in the propeller noise? I would say just from listening to it, they are more or less similar. But I will be doing a more scientific test where I will be using the sound meter that I've been using in the past to determine the difference. And now to one of the more critical ones, is the cross compatibility of ND filters. If you went out and purchased a kit like this, where you get a ND 16, 64 and 256, then you might be interested in if they are compatible with the Mini 4 Pro. And unfortunately, they are not. Let me just show you. So take off the front cap here, and these are for the Mini 3. So just try and position those. See, they will not snap in, so they are not compatible. You can see the difference. If you open this case, you would see that there's actually writing on front of the filters, where there are not any writings. They are on the casing on the filters that are designed for the Mini 3 Pro. Cross-compatible ND filters, that's a no. Please push the active track to the limit. You might already see that video by now, but I have really taken it to the limit. At least one of the videos is out now, is the obstacle avoidance test where I took the drone in some really nasty conditions. And just as a spoiler, I actually managed to crash it. I know, whoa. Whoa. But it was not the drone's fault, basically. Of course it was the drone's fault, but I pushed it under some conditions that might not have been taken into account. So if you want to watch that video, I will highly recommend that, and you can access that through this card. So the next question is something that I've seen asked a lot of times, and that is if the altitude has been limited to 120 meters by the Mini 4 Pro. Because the Mini 4 Pro is actually the first drone that carries the C0 class identification label that will put it in the airspace A1 in EU under the EASA drone regulation. As you can see from this screen recording, there is an upper limit to how high you can set the altitude, and that is 120 meters. But wait a minute, I'm all confused now because I just tested it outside, and now it's actually possible to set it up to 500 meters. Now you're getting the error message that's saying you're modifying the max flight altitude. Setting the flight altitude over 120 meters may violate local laws and regulations, subject to restrictions. By doing so, you bear full responsibility of the resulting impact. Fly with caution. If you agree on that one, you can, even if you're not allowed to it, go over 120 meters. That is even after the GPS has locked. If you know, let me know in the comments. And then there was this guy making a little bit fun of me that I introduced a new drone capable of shooting 4K 60 by only releasing the video in 1080p. It kind of slipped in the quality control, so the video that I uploaded is 1080p. So what I did was I made the version that is in 4K with the full resolution of the images available for members of the channel. So in case you're interested in joining a membership here on the channel, I pre-release videos and I give you access to stuff that is just much later available on the channel if you actually join as a member. I'll make sure to leave a link for the membership thing in the description below, or you can simply just press the blue button that is below the video. So the memberships are starting to gain momentum now. So anytime in the near future, I might actually do member-specific live streams and stuff like that to cater for that part of the audience. So in general, you will actually be able to see the videos that I'm releasing on the channel in an almost finished state 2-3 days before they're actually being pushed online. So if you want to be ahead of the curve, then consider becoming a member. And I've learned by history that the launch video that I put out can't really compete with the American channels. I'm being run over completely with the first video that I'm uploading. So in this case, if it's 1080p or it's 4K, it's maybe not that big of a deal. Next one, how different is the camera compared to the Mini 3 Pro? According to DJI, they have implemented a lot of optimization, as we have seen with the Air 3, that should put the camera from the Mini 3 Pro aside from the Mini 4 Pro. How much that is in real life, I set my mind out to test that. So I've done a really extensive test here the other day where I've been flying 6 drones, not at the same time, to capture image from the different drones. So I'll be able to compare those both video-wise and photo-wise. And of course, this video will be up sometimes when I get around editing all the footage that I captured there. But I did like a pretty sort of scientific test, but I was battling a little bit with overcast, so the lighting conditions were not exactly the same when I was flying. So what you see here is actually video playing side by side from the Mini 3 Pro and from the Mini 4 Pro at the same location with approximately the same speed and approximately the same route. Both shot in 4K 20 FPS. The comparison video that I will be putting out will be comparing 4 drones, which will allow you to see the real difference in the video capabilities of these drones. What drones made it to this comparison? You would have to subscribe and wait and see. When I originally got the drone, I ran into a few issues with the error messages that kept popping up on the screen, telling me that the drone was no longer compliant because the battery mounted in the drone was too heavy. I think it actually mentioned that it was the Plus battery that was mounted in the drone, and that's why it was not compatible. And I scratched my head and I couldn't really figure out what was going on there because the batteries didn't feel like the one was heavier than the other, and yeah, it was kind of like an odd scenario. And to be sure, I actually mounted the Mini 3 batteries in the drone because at that point I would assume that that would have fixed everything. But it did not. And the reason is that there's actually a weight difference between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro batteries. They are actually compatible. So if I just take the drone here, let's just unfold it just for the sake of it. I marked these batteries with a yellow one so I can see which one was originally delivered with the drone. But if I take a Mini 3 battery, you can see that that plugs perfectly fine into the Mini 4 Pro. So that part is absolutely okay. But if we take a scale, we make sure that it's put to 0. And I put on the normal Mini 3 Pro battery or Mini 3 battery, you would see that it clocks in around 82. Let's try another one. Clocks in around 80. So this is around 82 grams with these. If I take the corresponding Mini 4 batteries that was delivered with the drone, you see that they are a few grams lighter. See, 78 grams. And that unfortunately means that if I take my Mini 3 Pro battery and I plug it into the drone and put it on the scale, you can see that it actually exceeds the 250 grams, which making it not compatible with the C0 class identification. So that's definitely something you need to be aware of. But on the other hand, if I take the Mini 3 Pro and I mount one of these batteries in there, you would get a drone that is significantly less than 250 grams, leaving room for additional accessories like a strobe light or something like that. So the Mini 4 Pro battery and the Mini 3 Pro battery, they are cross-compatible. One is 2 to 3 grams lighter than the other. Do you know if the Mini 4 is FPV ready and compatible with the Goggles 2 and the Controller 2 like the Mini 3 Pro? I don't have either, so I couldn't answer that, but the gentleman took a fare by himself and contacted the GGI directly and kindly enough posted the answer below. Hi, just went onto the GGI Support chat and they say no. They don't know about an update for that. There was another question I just managed to squeeze in here by the end of this video. What interests me is, can the Mini 4 Pro make 4K 60 FPS on active track and point of interest? And as you can see here, it works perfectly fine with 4K 60 FPS. And it also works in 4K 100, as I'm showing you here. I'm sneaking in one more question. Because I know many of you have been wondering that, and that is the compatibility between these two remotes and the respective RCN1s and N2. They are not backward compatible. The new DJI RC2 is running OcuSync 4.0, and as far as I know, it's not backward compatible with the older RC drones that are supported with this, that are running OcuSync 3. Even the Mini 3 is actually running O2 with this, with the old smart controller. But with the new one, there's no compatibility between these two. So if you decide to go down the route of the Mini 4 Pro or the Air 3, you are stuck with the latest generation of the smart controller and can't use the old one. So those were some of the most frequently asked questions about the Mini 4 Pro. I guess you maybe have more questions in stock, then just throw them below this video and I can do a follow-up a little bit later answering all your questions. Also, if you're interested in watching some of the other videos that I'm doing with this drone, I make sure to compile a playlist that you can access through this card. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.